Thank you. This presentation is presented by a team representing. This presentation is presented by Mary Atim, David Monava, and Martin Wenwa. And the presentation is in response to developing a public sector comparator analysis for the projects that we have chosen, as you'll see going forward. I'll first define the public-private partnership, which is a funding model for public infrastructure projects and initiatives such as public transportation system, water projects, electricity or airport, involving a long-term collaboration between a government agency and private sector company. The scope of the collaboration may vary on a case-by-case basis, from financing, building, owning, and operation of the selected projects. Although PPP has gained popularity globally due to its benefits such as risk transfers to the private sector, quality improvement, cost transfers, and accelerated implementation, it may not always be the best option. There are projects that can best be provided by the public sector. Value for money and the public sector comparator. A decision whether to implement a project as a PPP and not through the traditional public procurement should be guided by a financial evaluation of the alternatives that are certain whether the chosen method will provide value for money. PPP procurement is ideally used where it offers value for money over the life of the project relative to the conventional procurement methods. As such, the project undertaken through PPP should deliver a net benefit relative to a public procurement procedure for the same specific project. Value for money may be assessed using both qualitative and quantitative means. The most common tool used for quantitative assessment for value for money is the public sector comparator. The public sector comparator is an estimate of the risk-adjusted whole-of-life cost of a project if it were to be delivered by the procuring entity using conventional procurement methods. It involves testing whether a private investment proposal offers value for money in comparison with the most efficient form of public procurement. The public sector comparator should be a realistic estimate of the cost incurred by the procuring entity if it were to deliver the project using conventional public sector delivery methods, taking into account the risk allocation between the procuring entity and the private sector consortium contracted to deliver the project, as reflected in the principles developed for the project and included in the PPP project. In the PPP contract, I would like to invite my teammate, David, to take it on from here.
Thank you very much, Martin. We've done a public sector comparator analysis for 2 projects. The first one is a one-stop resource center. This project is to establish a one-stop resource center for university students, providing centralized access to resources and administrative services and collaborative spaces. The project components is a construction phase of 0 to 2 years and an operational phase of 3 to 7 years, with income lines expected like student and faculty memberships, event hosting and collaboration space, and public and private partnerships. The risk-adjusted public sector comparator for the one-stop resource center project include costs for transferable risk, comparative neutrality, raw PSC, and retained risks of 192 billion shillings. And when discounted at a rate of 5% for the duration of 7 years, we got a negative 71 billion shillings on this project. So there was no idea, no rate, the rate of return could not be calculated. The next project which we analyzed is bus rapid transit system, which is intended to develop and operate a bus rapid transit system to enhance public transit and reduce congestion. The project components include the construction phase of 2 years, operational phase from 3 years, of 10 years from 3 years to 17 years. The income estimates include fare collections, advertising revenue, and government subsidies. When we adjusted, risk-adjusted public sector comparator for the project, realized 375 billion shillings with a net present value of 78.5 billion and an internal rate of return of 9% for the duration of 17 years with a discount rate of 5%. I will invite my colleague Mary to give us the recommended project justification to conclude.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Martin, once again for your input. So yes, accordingly, we have selected the bus rapid transit system. The recommended PPP structure for implementing the project is the design, build, finance, operate model. The justification for selection of this: 1, risk transfer. The DBFO model allows for effective transfer of construction costs and operational costs to the private sector. Then 2nd, efficiency and innovation. The private sector has a lot of expertise in design and construction, and so can provide innovative solutions for efficient project delivery. 3rd, we have funding and financing. Yes, here private parties have access to diverse funding sources and are able to provide for innovative financing structures that can allow the overall cost of capital. 4th, the whole life approach. Here, the private party will be encouraged to adopt a whole life approach for the project and due consideration for the project's long-term performance, maintenance, and renewal needs. So in conclusion, based on the risk-adjusted public sector comparator, we decided to select the bus rapid transit system, given that it provides an internal rate of return of about 9%. Yes, thank you.